His eyes glowing red, face painted resembling a clown, short, overweight, and bald, with only a few white hairs around his head. Wears a black leather-looking jacket, ripped at the forearms, that resembles a wrong-sized tuxedo. Underneath it, he wears a gray and white striped shirt. His green-grayish colored pants seem like they are about to fall off. He wears no belt and his belly sticks out abnormally. He wears some sort of light brown shoes that resemble socks more than anything. He loves to brag about the different ways he can dismember a body and brags about it to an alley cat that happens to be just minding its own business and passing by. Issue number 2 opens up with a new character named
The Violator.
We transition from the Violator talking about pulverizing Spawn into a little itty-bitty cube like a lifesaver to Spawn on top of a church next to a cross, thinking to himself and trying to figure out pieces of the puzzle from his former life and why he is back on Earth in this new form. He's come to the conclusion that he made a deal in exchange for his soul, and all because of her, referring to Wanda, which he still doesn't remember by name, but does realize he came back for her. He also realizes he only remembers bits and pieces of his former life. Only when the one he made the deal with feels like allowing him to regain some memories. Spawn continues to ponder atop of that church, sitting on top of that cross, wondering why this is the second time he is drawn to that church. He thinks about what has transpired the last 5 years. He then notices the Violator waving at him from atop of a building nearby. Looking over, Spawn wonders who that is, when suddenly, he doesn't see him anymore. Later that same evening, we're about to be witnesses to the first gruesome scenes in the Spawn series. The location is Don Corp headquarters. This building is New York's fortress for the organized crime syndicate. It is equipped with a security system considered to be impossible to get through, or so they thought. They were wrong. Completely dead wrong. New stations make their appearance once again. What's the most interesting part of the stories this time? Well, the new mafia killings we just witnessed, and that the police still don't have any clue who is behind them. We also get an update on what Wanda is doing, which is to continue helping disabled children, thanks to the memorial funds established in honor of Al Simmons. In addition, New York's most powerful men with criminal connections are now asking for police protection, and that the group named Youngbloods are believed to be changing their costumes for that one similar to Spawn. A reference is made to a popular group of heroes that also were huge in the 90s. Although they debuted in the mid-80s, they hit their peak in popularity in the early 90s when the Spawn series came out. Those green-shelled eating pizza heroes are the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. E! Entertainment makes reference to Spawn's costume and how it has surpassed sales of those compared to the green-shelled ninjas. Take note of how Todd McFarlane has not only connected the Spawn universe to other cartoon universes like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but also ours, as he did earlier when the Violator referenced Lifesaver Candy. When we last left our hero, he had just seen the Violator disappear while standing on top of a church. He's still in the same place. So, we know much time has not passed. Now, however, the most interesting question he asks himself that you should notice as the reader and audience is why he got those powers in the first place, when all he wanted was to see his wife once again. So, with that last thought, Spawn puts his powers to the test, hoping that he can somehow change himself into someone Wanda would bear to see, rather than a rotting corpse. Oh my God. He tries again and again, with some success. Sort of. We switch over to our dynamic duo, Sam and Twitch. Sam, stressing over the 6 reports his boss has made them write, due to all the killings done recently, while Twitch keeps the atmosphere light with his calm and humorous attitude. Sam makes an interesting observation on how the world back in the early 90s was now more interested in how deep a guy's heart was shoved down their throat than reading about a late 80s, early 90s New York Mets Hall of Famer, who at the time was suffering from a shoulder injury. For reference, Sam was referring to Dwight Gooden, aka Doc Gooden, who in 1984 won the Baseball National League Rookie of the Year award, and in 1986 helped the Mets win the World Series. Sadly, Sam, not much has changed as of 2024 in regards to what the media is more interested in. Speaking of what catches people's attention in the media, our killer is at it again. Someone named Chino is not going to see daylight once again. Well, at least not as a human being in the next issue of Spawn. Meanwhile, Mel Simmons changes back to the Spawn, denying the form he transformed to in the hopes it would be his former self. He accepts the fact that his powers are not cooperating with him. When suddenly, his memory starts coming back again. Another flashback, another clue. Al Simmons remembers his former boss, Jason Wynn, who was supposed to take care of him and be his mentor. He pretty much taught Al the tools to be a mercenary. They were like brothers at one time, but eventually that bond broke. Al suspected there was things Jason Wynn was not telling him. He smelled a rat. Innocent people started dying and their rights and freedom taken away. America had lost its way by being a bully, and Jason just didn't seem to care. Al noticed how Jason enjoyed the pain and suffering of others and had become pure evil. After all that we witnessed, our hero regains consciousness. He finds himself in front of the violator, who he recognizes from earlier. The violator is not bothered by Spawn's appearance and admits he put his mask back on him while Spawn remained unconscious. The violator reveals to our hero that he knows what he is by referring to him as a Hellspawn, but quickly goes on a tangent, bragging again about how he is so good at killing and what he would be able to do to Spawn. Spawn, not being very amused by all this, begins to walk away, not realizing who he is turning his back to. The identity of who truly has been stuffing hearts down mafia bosses' throats and doing all those killings all these years is finally revealed to us. Not only that, but also the true form of the violator.